Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls, coming to you from the West Coast. Today I wanted to show you a very simple inking and stamping technique. It's a layered floral, but it's 4 layers, but from Beautiful Day layering stamp set, but I only use 2 of the layers. And then the leaves are 3 layers, but I only use 2. And then just a little bit of inking around the edge just to kind of highlight that beautiful flower and the sentiment. So super easy and fairly quick to do. Let me show you how it's made. All right, so I'm going to start by stamping my primary flower, and I'm going to have my card going this way. And actually, honestly, I think I'm going to stamp my sentiment in there first, so I know, so I can kind of build around my sentiment. Okay, now I'm going to build, now I can build my flowers because I'm going to stamp everything on this one piece of paper. So we're not going to have a lot of dimension, well, any real dimension. So I'm going to start, so this is the Altenew Beautiful Day layering stamp set, and I'm going to start with the flower. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp, so this stamp set has 4 layers to the flower. I'm only going to use the second layer and the top layer, and then I'm going to use these other elements, but I'm just going to use that, just these 2, okay? So we're going to start with the second layer, and I'm going to use hydrangea ink for this, for my flower. And I just want to get a good coating of ink on there. Now I'm going to come in with my outline layer. And we're just going to line that up. And I'm going to stamp that in my VersaFine. That gives me a nice sort of sketchy, or, you know, somewhat sketched floral look. Okay. Now, I'm going to come in and I'm going to add some leaves and some other foliage around it, but I don't want that flower to get stamped over the top of. So I've got, this comes with a die set, and I cut out the die, and I'm just going to use it as a mask. And I'm going to set that right over the top. Now, I just cut it out of plain cardstock. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little circle out of my low-tack tape to put on the back of it to kind of hold it in place. We're just going to put it right over the top of that flower. And now I've got leaves, and I'm going to do kind of the same thing. I'm going to use the one layer and then the outline layer. So let me put some leaves on. And I've got Mossy Meadow. Come back in with my outline layer. And then I'm going to put a few more layers of, put some more leaves in there. I'm going to use just a couple of these little extra pieces just to add a little bit of interest. Now the moment of truth. I'm going to open up, pull my mask off, and see what it looks like. Now you can, you know, keep pulling your mask off and putting it back if you want, because it's just on there with some low tack tape, so it just pops right off. I love how that looks. I think it's really unique. Now I'm going to do some inking around the edges, just because if you've been watching me at all for any amount of time, you know that I don't like just the plain white card. I think it looks too stark. So I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow. Ink color around the edge kind of creates a little bit of a vignette to draw your eye into the stamping or whatever, the die cuts or whatever you've got on your card. And I think that just looks so much better. And I've got a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card blank, and this is going to go right on there. And I would normally put it on up with some dimension, but because it's all one level, I'm gonna, it's all flat stamped, I'm going to leave it that way. And then it's just a nice little note card that doesn't require any extra postage to mail, which at the cost of postage here these days, that's important. And there we go, all done. Some fun stamping techniques using a stamping mask for your flower so that you can stamp your flower and then stamp essentially behind it without overlapping your flower. So lots of fun. Thanks for watching.